This unit is Troubleshoot Formula Errors. It is the final unit on the Advanced Formulas module, part of the Admin Advanced Trail. My name is Jeff Alhadeff. You're welcome to join me as I try to get across the finish line on this module. If I have any questions or comments that come back, things that seem confusing to me, or how whatever, I'll link to it in the description below. Otherwise, you could just listen to me talk this out loud, and maybe it helps. Okay, in this line, you'll be able to understand the causes of common formula errors and troubleshoot advanced formula fields. Syntax errors. Even advanced formula gurus run into problems with their formulas occasionally. The most common formula errors are syntax errors. To check the syntax of your formula anytime, click check syntax. This doesn't always help. It's easy to accidentally type in extra parentheses in your formula or leave one out. This error is especially common when nesting logical statements such as if, and, or. And this formula, for example, is missing a closed parentheses at the end. Yeah, so sometimes the errors I found help, but sometimes I'm trying to do one thing and it thinks I'm trying to do something else and then tells me I'm missing something. You also get this error if you have too many parentheses or a comma out of place within a function. This is the same formula but with an extra parentheses. Okay. Field does not exist. When it comes to syntax error, the advanced formula editor is your friend. It's almost impossible to misspell the name of a field or function when you're using the insert operator or insert field button. Here we meant to reference the field principal C, not principal C. You'll also get this error if you forget to put quotation marks around a text string. Okay, text string. Incorrect numbers are parentheses. If using the incorrect number of parentheses in certain functions, you run into syntax errors. Be careful with functions that take a variable number of parameters like case. This formula is missing the last argument, the fall-through case, in its case statement. The formula editor assumed that we meant to check only 4 cases, not 5, so it looked for 10 arguments in total, when we really meant to give it 12. That doesn't make sense to me, because I don't understand case, really. An unknown function, you also encounter errors when you misspell a function name or try to use a function that doesn't exist. The formula attempts to reference the function minimum, which doesn't exist. We meant to use min, which takes a list of numbers and returns the minimum. Working with different data types. When creating a formula, think of the type of data you want to return before you write your formula. That's what messed me up on the previous unit. If your formula returns a data type other than one you selected, you can't save it. So the type that it returns. Okay. That's really important. I don't know why I wouldn't put this like first. Think about the type that it's going to return. Like I was thinking like I'm doing a date function. I'm looking at dates, but it's not the return type. Okay, thanks for telling me. It's easy to mix up date types when converting a value between types or using similar date types like day and date time or a number and currency. This formula, for example, is written to return a date value when the selected formula return type is date time. Okay. To check this error, you can change the return type of the formula field to date, or you can replace today with now to produce a date time instead of date. Okay. Compile size and formula lengths. Formula fields are powerful but restricted in size. Formulas are limited to 3,900 characters or 5,000 bytes, including spaces. Return characters and comments. and can't exceed 5,000 bytes when compiled. It's important to understand the difference between these size restrictions and how to work around or within these constraints. Formulas are limited to 3,900 characters. You can shorten formulas in several ways. Replacing AND with ampersands, and, for example, saves a few characters with each use, as is replacing nested if statements with a case statement. Shorter field names and comments also make a small but significant difference in the length of your formula. If your formula field is significantly longer than 3,900 characters, use a helper formula field. That's what we did the other night, which was actually a good idea. A formula size that's less than 3,900 characters can still exceed the 5,000 byte compile size limit. When a formula is over the compile size limit, creating helper fields and shortening field names or comments doesn't make any difference. When you reference a helper field, its compiled size is added to the compile size of the formula that references it. One way to reduce a formula's compile size is by minimizing references to other formula fields. Some methods for reducing formula length, such as replacing nested if statements with a case statement, also reduce a formula's compile size. Consider two fields. Date 1 custom is a date field. Date 2 is a formula field that creates a date from date 1. The following this is the date 2 looks like. The following formula returns a date to the last day of the month for a given date, assuming February always has 20 days, which doesn't. The formula checks for months every 30 days, then February, and the remaining months are 31 days. It requires a nested if function, which isn't very readable and compiles to 10,069 characters for date 1 and a whopping 7,271 characters for date 2. Why? Because the formula references the date 7 times. Compare that to this revised version of the formula. Note that only is it easy to read. The formula compiles to only 645 characters and 3,039 characters for date 2, and now references the date in 3 times instead of 7. This example for the Salesforce Answers community. This example came from the Salesforce Answers community. A pick list store stores the name of an agent responsible for an opportunity. The formula calculates the commission based on commission value, based on base commission value and a multiplier. But because base commission is referenced in each condition of the case statement, the formula exceeds the compile size. To fix this, move base commission outside the case function. The formula can then be written as follows: base commission times case. Even if base commission is only a currency field in a formula itself, referencing it once instead of multiple times greatly reduces the formula compile size. Cool. Troubleshoot a formula and fix a couple of errors. The following formula meant to return the last day of the current month has a couple of errors in it. If month now is December, and the date and the year is, I don't know, what are they trying to do? The last day of the current month. create a new formula with the same label and data type that successfully compiles. I don't know why I want to look at this. Can't you just tell me? Like, isn't there like a... How would you do that math? How many days are there this month? Why can't... The formula should be of the date type and on the case object. The formula should have the name last day of month and the resulting API of last day on month, and the formula should return the last day of the current month. Okay, I'm gonna go try this. Okay, there it is. Last day of month. Boom, right there. And I just Googled for it. I mean, somebody else already did this. I don't know. Do I feel guilty about that? There's add months. And then it looks at the date and the year of today. From the 1st to 31st. And then the month and the today. And this person says it's working for him and shows a picture of it. Anyhow. So, I've got it there. So, it's, you know, I mean, am I supposed to reuse these specifically? Maybe. Is it looking for the proper if statements? I guess not. Cool. Thanks for watching.